One, two, three. Welcome everybody today. The Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. And unfortunately, they're not here today. We had the passing of my uncle here. And, sometimes it just don't happen. But today we have a very special guest. He comes every now and then, but people don't know about him, is Wayde Bryant. And I told you we'd tell him one day about his story of when he sang for President Obama. And thank you for being on the show, first of all, Wayde. Always. Thank you for being that ram in the thicket, as always. But talk about your experience with President Obama, singing for him. How was that? You got
Wow, Todd, that is one experience no one would ever be able to take from us.
Mhm.
Um, that period was a really interesting time because Reflections, the name of our band, we had just finished wrapping up the second album.
Mhm.
The first album was a sacred or religious, inspirational
Mhm.
album, and it just so happened that that invitation to do a second kind of different album uh, was kind of forwarded by an invitation to sing for a couple of weddings and some other events.
Mhm.
And it just so happened um, when we started singing for those other events, they led to other types of events.
Okay.
And we started doing, if you will, like secular songs.
Mm.
But I just happen to know doing secular songs does not mean I'm going to hell
Mhm.
because I
Yeah.
did a song that doesn't say Jesus or God.
Mhm.
And so
I
we're
mean,
doing
after all,
these
we do see
ballads,
Old McDonald had a farm.
and that ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. So
Thank you.
he made the
Yeah,
cows, but
yeah, yeah,
he
right?
did, yeah, he didn't make the
I'm sorry
cows,
to
but
drop that in there, but people got to understand. You do it all the time and don't even realize it. But
you
you
don't.
label Christian art like they can't do anything else. And, you know,
Absolutely.
talk about a little bit because you did this cleanly and it impressed secular people and you were changed
Yes.
down by dude, you're a Christian group, but the way you did that got me, you know what I'm saying? Talk a little bit about that. Sorry, I don't want to take
That
you.
was that was interesting. That's a really great thought. Um, as we did this one particular event, we did about 4 or 5 songs, and this showed me that you can be of the world, but in the world, but not of the world.
Right.
You know that's when that really made sense to me.
Yeah.
We did these songs, and it was a rap artist, and
Mm-hmm.
it was an R&B cat, and there was us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and after we did our set, my man is, he's doing his thing, and we are jamming
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah.
But what happened was we did our set, and the hip hop cat came up to me after our set. We dapped me up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
Mm-hmm.
he said, "My man, let me ask you something. Is y'all Christians?" Like, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why is he asking
Yeah.
me that?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, no, like, man, the way y'all set was, he said it was clean. Like y'all
Mm-hmm.
didn't have no cussing.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't have this and that and the third. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't. I don't. It doesn't take all that. I don't
Yeah.
have to do the gyrating and the clapping
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It don't take all of that.
Yeah.
And so the R&B cat came literally right after him.
Mm-hmm.
He D'd up. He said, "Man, your your harmony is just incredible. Like I just love the approach." He's like, "But y'all like got a different vibe."
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was proven to me that people who are in whatever life or realm that they're in, they'll know if you're like them or not.
Right.
They know the counterfeits.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying how a real thug, gangsters, they know the real ones from
Yeah.
some fake.
Yeah.
It's and if you're whatever your profession is, if you're an athlete, you'll know off the break
Game
that
knows
this guy
game.
game knows game.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was a way that I'm like, man, so they know that we're different, even though we're singing their type of songs.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, on the second album, we did a record called, we wrote an original song called Something's Gotta Change.
Yeah.
Obama's running for office. What is his motto?
Change.
Change. So David Carr, who is our man, he's part of management and he would do sound for us sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He said to us, he said, "Man, we got to do something with this
Yeah.
song. I'm telling you." And so Stacia Doolin, who was also part of management at the
Mm-hmm.
time, and Chip Dizzard
Mm-hmm.
went to Obama's rally
Yeah.
at University of Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and he captures
Mm-hmm.
footage. Well, now we're in the process of like working on a video, and Jean Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's actually we sit down and we do the storyboard and we actually shoot the video,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when Chip Desert, we get permission and we insert Obama in the video
Mm-hmm.
as he's doing the rally.
Yeah.
We're singing the song,
Mm-hmm.
and so Obama's camp got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly think that this happened because after our rehearsals,
Yeah.
we would have, like marketing night
Mm-hmm.
where we would do guerrilla marketing,
Mm-hmm.
sit down with our computers
Mm-hmm.
and just push to every one of our friends and everything.
Friends and
And
enemies. You need Jesus. He
yeah,
something positive.
here you go. Jesus, go ahead and make it happen. Yeah, you turn the water into wine.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody. Friend and foe.
And
You gonna get one. All right.
you're gonna get it. And it just so happened we get a phone call. Can you all make it to Denver
Mm.
to play for the DNC for that whole week? I'm like, yes,
Like
absolutely,
yesterday.
man. And it was the most incredible event I can ever recall because this was the first time that I saw. No, not the first, because this reminded me
Mm-hmm.
of the times of living back home in Chicago
Yeah.
in those 80s and 90s where I saw a supremely segregated city.
Yeah.
Blacks are here,
Mm-hmm.
whites are there. Not just the whites, Italians, Polish,
Yes.
Germans, then the Latinos, and
Yeah.
like you're in your area.
Yes. Don't come in our area.
Oh, don't hey,
Outside of business.
unless you're on the north side.
Yeah.
The north side we call the California side of Chicago
Yeah.
because that's the interracial couples, the
Mm-hmm.
gay and lesbians, it's everybody.
Yes.
And they all one big melting pot. But that was reminding me of Chicago because there was every walk of
Yep.
life. There was every profession you could think of. There was every type of ethnic,
Mm-hmm.
religious, like that was just the most amazing thing I had ever been a part of, let alone witness.
And
Because now, yeah.
let's just remember, folk, there was one point Chicago was horrible. In fact, they had to have a march, Martin Luther King. But during that time,
Mm,
we had a wonderful Mayor Harold Washington. The Bulls were winning.
mm.
Of course, when the Bears were winning, they won that one Super Bowl. It started to change that thing with
Why I put the one out there? Put the one out
look, Detroit's got zero.
there.
Barely got a playoff win. But I'm just saying, bro.
But yeah,
No, look, don't be we hating, man. If you win one, we gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Sorry about that, folks. That was just the Michigan moment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Lions are gonna get it together at some point this century. But what I'm saying, bro, is at the end of the day, everybody was coming together. You got a great Mayor Harold Washington. The Bears are winning. The Bulls are on the up. Then the Bulls start winning. All of a sudden, man, everybody in the city pulled together, and you're seeing that same thing now at the convention.
And so this was kind of surreal because I remember seeing Obama in Chicago. I remember seeing him as the coordinator. So this was really something to see a cat that I saw in the early stages when
Mm-hmm.
nobody didn't really know who he was except for the folk in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then you see him on this bigger stage. And of course, I see my boys take six,
Mm-hmm.
they play the same. And what was so fascinating was like I said, you got tired of being starstruck.
Right.
Um I remember we had just performed and Chevy Chase had came up to us and he was like Guys are amazing. Like, this is crazy. And I'm like, well, this Chevy
Just a Chevy Chase. Hold up, Chevy Chase. No, yeah, you
Chase.
amazing me, dude. Thank you.
Man, and we were waiting. I think John Legend was getting ready to sing,
Hmm.
so we were standing backstage,
Hmm.
and this had to be Black Eyed Peas
Yeah.
were playing.
Hmm.
So we just did our thing. Music Soul Child just did his
Hmm.
thing. So we're all kind of chilling backstage, and at the time, I didn't know I was talking with this young lady the whole time.
Hmm.
I didn't know who she was because I just knew she was just a little short sister that had great energy, and it was Janae. Janae,
Janelle Monae.
yeah, Janelle Monae.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it didn't dawn on me until like a couple of years later that we were cracking jokes and high fiving, and I'm
Yeah. Hey, you know what,
it
man?
was just
And like I said, we're gonna bring you back on and talk more about this. But folk, I mean, being humble, um,
yeah,
being able to be friendly to everybody. I mean, and number one, knowing your purpose, right? You were there to do a purpose,
absolutely.
and God used you in a mighty way. And a lot of times people try to put you in a box. And what I really like about what your story is, and like I said, but we're gonna bring him back on and talk about more stories and more stuff. This is not the last time you're gonna see Wayde, is that you were yourself no matter where you were. And see, what people have to do, they think you guys have to talk about God all the time. No, if you live God all the time, it's a
Come
witness in itself. It's more powerful than anything you say, because a lot of times you say something about God and you curse
Right.
somebody out the next moment. That ain't Christian, folks. If you live
Exactly.
God every moment, what comes out of your mouth, they can say, you know what, you're a Christian no matter what comes out, because it's pure and clean. You know,
Man,
and,
you just made me reflect because for real, being a beacon of light, the world is in a really dark place.
yeah,
And people are looking for answers.
yeah,
How do I deal with life?
yeah,
What is it about you that you can still handle all the things that you have? Not saying that you're not struggling or
yeah,
you don't know how to deal with your stuff, but at least see that I got a playbook.
yeah.
I can go straight to the playbook and say, God, okay, I'm really not happy with this situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm uncomfortable in that.
Yeah.
I would like to be in a different whatever it is, but I have a hope that I can just say, God, you can make this thing right.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it is, I stopped asking God, why is this happening? And just ask, what did you want me to learn from it? That was the biggest turnaround.
Wow. And folks, let me just wrap this up here real quick. The thing I want everybody to remember before we close with Mom and Dad Talks today, folks, is this. Daniel was not thrown in the lion's den because he prayed 3 times a day.
Right.
If you read that, if you read that section, what happened was he gained favor with the king.
Yep.
And they found out his weakness to throw him into a trap. And that's what got him in trouble. And a lot of times, folks, if you just do your job, stay in your lane, and let God use your gift, it makes room for you to stand before great men. And that's what's going to cause some problems there. But everybody wants to get out of their lane, wants to be somebody else, wants to sing over my man Wayde. Just lay here, Wayde. It's a musician thing that people got to understand. It's a music thing where, people with less talent tend to be jealous of those with talent and don't want to help. Folks, there's enough room for everybody. And if you have the opportunity to do good, the Bible says do it. Because like I said, you could have sat back there and that person said, you know what, I heard your song, I'm jealous of it. But you know what? They wouldn't have been able to get the opportunity of a lifetime for someone to enjoy, to share to other people, to show them how they can make it, folks. Well, we're going to close on that thing. Wayde, thank you for being the ram in the thicket today during this time.
Anytime.
Bro. And until next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talk. And we're going to bring him back. This is not the last time you're going to see my man. He's going to be on here more, all right? Take it easy and to God bless.